Cutting a deck. Cutting a deck is a very common process in a magic show or a card game. And assume that we have a deck of n cards. From top to down, we have the card as C1, C2, etc. to Cn. Cutting a deck means taking n cards from the top and put it under the rest of the cards. So the sequence of the cards from top down will be like CK plus 1, CK plus 2, till Cn, and then C1 to CK. Why is that? Look carefully. If we take n card out of the deck, the n card that you are taking from the top will be C1, C2 until CK. Is that right? Okay. So these are actually the n card on the top that we have been taken from the deck of cards. And then we are putting it under at the bottom of the deck. And the rest of the card from CK plus 1, CK plus 2 until the last card, Cn, will be placed on top of it. So the sequence of the deck of cards will become CK plus 1, CK plus 2 until CK, and then C1, C2 until CK. Is that clear? Is it okay with you? Okay. Let's look at the examples. For instance, if we have 6 cards, and then these n means we are taking the n cards. When n is 6, that means we have a deck of 6 cards. And then we are taking k cards out of the deck, which is 3 right now. That means we are taking 3 cards. S2, HQ, and C10, put it in the back of the card, at the bottom of the deck. Is that clear to you? And then the rest of the cards, diamond A is what? Diamond of A, okay. Diamond of Ace. And spade of K, and heart of Jack. These 3 are the rest of the card that hasn't been cut. So we will have those cards on top of the deck. Do you see? Can you understand what the problem is about? Is it okay? Okay. For another example, that we have 5 cards. Then we are going to take 2 cards, which are S10, Sj, and put it at the bottom of the deck. So S10 and Sj will be at the end of the sequence. And the rest of the cards, SQ, SK, and SA, will be in front of it, okay, on top of the deck. Any question? No question. And then we are going to try to solve this problem by coding it. All right. So for the first line, there are 2 integers, n and k. This is what we do. Because we have 2 instead of 1, we need a map. We need to map in's function to the list of strings that splits function returns. And then we are going to input the sequence of the cards. Why do I put a list right here? Because I'm going to do the slicing. Doing a slicing in Python requires subscripts. Do you know subscripts? Do you remember subscripts? Before you can do a subscript on something, on a map object, you need to convert it into a list first. All right? Do you remember that? If you remember that, say yes. If you don't, say no. Don't stay quiet. I'm not a mind reader. I don't read your mind. You have to say something so that I would know. Okay, all right. So let's keep going, and I will come back to you with this point, all right? Okay. So now, how are we going to take the first K cards out of the deck and print them out first? No. Actually, we need to print the rest of the card first. All right? So the first card, it doesn't subscripts. The subscript of the cards doesn't start with 1 like the example in the problem statement. All right? It actually starts with 0. It actually starts with 0. So for here, this is actually C0. And this is C1 and C2. All right? So what is the first card that's not cut, not taken? C3 for now, but this 3 is K in general. Do you see that? If you want to take K cards, and the subscripts of those cards, the index of those cards are actually from 0 to until K minus 1. All right? And the first card that is not taken is actually CK. All right? So we would like to print C starting K ends where? And if this is, what is the number? What is the index of the last card when we have n cards? n minus 1. If we want to slice from K to the end, what do we put at the end? What do we put here? Do we still have the idea? If this is CK, this is Cn minus 1. Okay? Okay, let's do this. So we have 6 cards. And the first card is actually C0. All right? This is the first card. And the second card is actually C1. And if we want to cut 10 cards, and the last cards in the part that we have taken is actually CK. This is the K cards. The K is actually 3 for now. K is actually 3 for this example, all right? And what is the next card that we are going to take? This is C. Oh, I'm sorry, this is K minus 1. If we want to have K cards, then the last card will be K minus 1. C0 to CK minus 1. Is there any question? And the rest are the cards that's not taken. Those are the cards that are not taken. So it starts with CK. And then CK plus 1. And what is the last card? When we have N cards, this is a CN minus 1. All right, this is the last card, which is C minus 1. If we want to slice these parts, we would like to say we are going to have C, K until what? Until C n minus 1? Is that right? Does this slice include all these 3 cards? No, no. Now be careful. So what should we put? If we want to have the cards from CK till the end of the deck, what do we put here? K column and what? And what? N without minus 1, all right? Is that okay? And what about this part? What about this part? What do we put here? C0 till what? Till K, all right? Not K minus 1, till K. C0 to CK mean C0 column K means the slice from C0 to CK minus 1, and CK to N refers to the sequence of CK until the last one, which is C minus 1, Cn minus 1. Is that okay with you? Okay? So for this part, we would like to have CK column N. Then we want to put the first part at the end, which is C0 to, what do we put here? CK. All right, this is the answer to the problem that we have seen, that we have seen over there. All right, this is the answer. However, for this problem, I would like to show you some new tricks. Not a major one, but something new to you. What is that? If you would like to have a slice from K to the end of the sequence, then you can drop this N. When you don't say where to stop, the slice will have everything until the end. Do you know what I'm talking about? Is that okay with you? Okay. Again here, if you would like to have a slice from the beginning, you don't need to put 0 right there. You can actually drop this 0 like this. When you don't say where to start, it will actually start from the beginning. Do you know what I'm talking about? Do you know what I'm talking about? Is it okay with you? What about this? What about this? If I have a oh, I'm sorry, we don't need this, because these are actually cards. You won't be able to convert them into integers. And splits actually returns a list, so this is an extra. We don't need those. I'm sorry about that. Okay? Because they are strings. You won't be able to convert these strings into integers. All right? So this will do. All right? Any question? Okay? All right. So when I hit enter, and I will copy this thing right there, paste it on. What do you see in C? Okay? All right. Look carefully. If I have C from the beginning and then 3, how many cards will you be able to see? 3. Actually, we will have 3 cards at the beginning, like this. All right? What about this one here? If I have C minus 3 till the end, what will you see? How many cards are you going to see? This is minus 3. This is negative 3. And if you don't say where to stop, you will take all the elements till the end. So you will see these 3. Okay? Any question? So, what are you going to see? Exactly. You'll see everything. Okay? Any question? Okay? So this is the slides. And I'm showing you that if you don't say where to stop, it will actually slice to the end. If you don't say where to start, then it will start from the beginning. Is it okay with you? So this is the end. This is the answer to the problem on the right. Let's see the following one. Conjunction. Okay, use the specified conjunction to connect all the vocabularies. And the first word is the conjunction, all right, like and. And you need to use and to connect all the following vocabularies, like apple, banana, and cantaloupe. And it will give you apple and banana and cantaloupe. What do we do to solve this problem? Let's see. We have SS is equal to inputs dot splits. We don't need to convert them into integers because they don't. All right. Can we do this? Print. Star S. We unpack the S. And then we have separated as a space plus S0 plus a space. Can we do that? See, S0 is this and, right? Yeah. Okay, but we still need a space in front of and a space after and. So we will have space plus S0, which is the conjunction, and plus another space at the end as the separator. Can we do that? No? Why not?
S0 is a conjunction.
You are not supposed to show this and in the beginning, right? Because and is the conjunction, all right? So, let's see. Let's run this module. And see what is going to happen. Do you see that? The answer that we want is apple and banana and cantaloupe. This is the answer that we want. And we have these two and in the beginning. Why is that? Because when we have this star S, it includes the first word. It will include the conjunction also. What do we do now? What do we do to solve this problem? It's easy. We slice it from 1. We don't want this as 0, right? We don't want that as 0 to be shown. So we slice it from 1 to the end of the string, the end of the sequence. Do you see that? So when you slice it from 1, it will actually skip S0, which is the conjunction. Do you see that? Is it okay with you? Okay? All right, so that's the answer to this problem. Then I'm going to show you the next problem. Well, I forgot how to say that in English. In a profile of 3, okay? Merge with the profile of 3. I invented it. I don't know how to say that, but I invented it. It's okay. So, if you walk with the profile of 1, then you will have one row like this with everyone in there. Now we are going to split this one row into three rows. How do we do it? The first person, John, will be the first person in row 1. The second person, David, will be the first person in row 2. The third person, Steve, will be the first person in row 3. All right? So where does Andrew go? The fourth person, Andrew, where does he go? He will go to the second person in row 1. All right? What about Mary? She'll be the second person in row 2, something like that. And Leah will be the second person in row 3. Do you know what is going on? All right? But how are we going to do it? You have no idea, right? But with the slicing, this problem seems so easy. Let me show you. S is equal to input dot split. Then for row 1, we would like to slice from the beginning to the end. Then we can put the second column here in a slice with the third number as the increments. The third number as the increments of 3. What does that mean? That means it will start with the beginning John. And after John, it will count to 3, it will take the third person after John. The third person after John. 1, 2, 3. It will actually take Andrew. So you will take John, it will take Andrew. And after Andrew, it will take first, second. Is there anything at the end? No. So that's it. The first row, this one will give you, this slice will actually give you John and Andrew. Do you know what I'm talking about? What about this one here? The first one will be A10, 1, 2, 3. All right? And then the next one will 1, 2, 3. It will give you A10 and 5, 6, 7. And the next one will be 1, 2, 3. A10 and A90. So it will give you this sequence. Is there any question? Is there any question? No? But this is only for the first line of output. You need 3 of these to have 3 lines of output. So you need 3 prints to have 3 lines of output. What about the second row?
3 plus 1 or minus 1.
How are we going to generate David?
3 plus 1.
And 1, 2, 3, and Mary. How are we going to take David and Mary out of this sequence for the second line? We actually start with 1. David is actually S1, right? So we start with 1. Then 1, 2, 3. It will give you Mary. Any question? What about row 3?
2.
We put 2 right here. So this is actually the answer to it. Any question? Do you know what I'm talking about here? Okay. Let's come back here. I will show you. For this one here, when we have S, we have this 4 words, right? Any question? So, when we say S1, something like this, we have only 1 column, right? Only 1 column in a slice. It actually means the same thing like this. If you have the increment as 1, you don't need to say it. You simply say something like this, 1 column, that will be it. All right? But if you would like to have a different number like 2, then you have to say it out. You have to put it right there. Then this will be apple, and then apple. And then 1, 2 will be cantaloupe. So it will give you apple and cantaloupe. Do you know what I'm talking about here? Any question? Any question at all? All right. If you don't have any, you can actually, in a slice, you can actually put up to 3 numbers. The first number is the start. The second number is the end. And the third number is the increments. Do you know what I'm talking about right now? Is that okay with you?
Yes.
Okay. Now, let's keep going to the next problem. then I will give you a break. All right? So for this problem right here, we would like to take a number and reverse it. We would like to take a number and reverse it. All right? And how do we do that? How do we do it? Look carefully. Look carefully. We would like to have this n as input. Do we convert it into an integer? Do we need to convert this input into an integer? No, we don't want to do that. Why? Because we cannot do slicing. We cannot do slicing on an integer. We can only do it on a string. All right? So leave it as a string. Don't convert it into an integer. Any question? So that we can do a slice on it. How are we going to do a slice on this one? Look carefully. We will slice it from the beginning until the end. All right? We are not specifying the start nor the end. We only specify the increments as -1. You can have a negative number. You can have a negative integer as the increment. And what does that mean to have a negative increment? When you have positive number, you will go in from the lower number to the higher number. When you have a negative number of the increments, you are actually going backwards from the higher number to the lower number, all right? Okay? So in this case, doing this will give you a string that is inversed, reversed, all right? So that's 120 right there, and we are going to, no, not like that, I'm sorry. Run module, then we are going to save it in your folder like this. All right, so when we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, it will give you 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Is that easy and cool? All right. Let's do that again. What about snail? It will be liens. Liens. Any question? All right. However, for the second problem right there, for the second example data right there, when we have 5050, it will give you 0505, but that is not the answer. The problem stated the 0 in the front should be eliminated. This is, how are we going to do that? How are we going to know how many leading zeros there are? And how many zeros that we need to take off? How are we going to know about it? So how do we solve this problem? How? How are we going to solve this problem right here? So how are we going to solve this problem? How do we know how many leading zeros there are and how many zeros that we need to take out? This is hard. How are we going to do it? It's actually not hard. It's quite easy. That's right. Let's convert it into an integer, and all the zeros in front of it will disappear. So this time, when we have 5050, and then we'll have 505. It's that easy. So this is the answer to this problem. Reversing a number like this. All right? Any question? So how many problems there are that we can practice right now? We have 4. We have 4. From cutting a deck, conjunction, and marching with the profile of 3, and reversing a number. We have 4 problems for you to work on. Any question? You have to pay real attention to this. All right? Because next time when we meet, this will all be in the test. If you don't understand it, if you don't master the concept that I'm teaching, you're going to fail the test. You are going to fail this course. All right? Okay, let's go ahead and do it.